Buying a vehicle in the Wabash Valley has never been so easy. Just point, click, and take your pick at DorsetAutomotive.com. New or pre-owned, you call the shots. Go ahead and give it a try. Point, click, and take your pick now at DorsetAutomotive.com.
I don't know what else to say other than these young ladies, both to my right and to my left, and all their teammates in the locker room, we've been on a non-conference journey that was just capped off by a big learning experience and the ability to learn a lesson and still walk away with the W. You know, I think throughout the non-conference we had some games that we learned lessons in, but those lessons cost us wins. And tonight, I think we learned a big lesson, and it didn't cost us the win. We kept fighting through, made plays to keep giving ourselves a chance. Then we went to overtime and pulled it out, and these two are big reasons why.
Questions for Coach?
I guess what are you referring to with the lesson? I mean, when Butler was able to get back in, we had a 10-point
Yeah, well, you know, second game of the year, with Northern Kentucky, we got a lead in the fourth quarter. We lose the lead, and then we lose the game. Tonight, we have a lead in the fourth quarter. We lose the lead, but find a way to fight back, give ourselves a chance to stay in the game. Then we go to overtime, and we win the game in overtime. So that's the second game of non-conference to the end of conference. And again, two very good opponents. And so that the lesson of learning how to play with the lead going into the fourth quarter, like I said, we didn't learn that lesson the second game, but I think we learned it tonight, and I think it's really good timing leading into conference, and hopefully they understand. A lot of this stuff is about confidence, and we've been talking to them. It's a journey. You know, you're not going to win or lose your season on one game or two games in the non-conference, but you have to make sure you keep fighting and keep growing as a team, and we've done that. And I think we're at the point now where we're ready for conference play come after the break.
Cierra, you got a really good look at the end of regulation there. I thought it was going to go in. But, you know, then you guys had 5 more minutes. I know you're tired in those situations, but what did Coach tell you guys to kind of keep going, and you guys really wanted this one? Either of you, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach just told us to keep our composure. Like he said, play with the lead. We lost it, but we really wanted to come out and win this game before going into break.
Was just they turned up their full court pressure on you. It was just making some adjustments in how to handle that helped you hang on there.
Yeah, I think it was one, they surprised us, and then two was we hadn't seen it a lot, and so we had players just trying to get open, and then we had players, instead of going to the designated spots so we could have spacing against the press, and our spacing was really bad initially. And then just trying to do too much. We're getting it and trying to drive down the middle of the floor, Jen, a couple times, instead of taking it and, again, creating spacing when they're trying to trap. You can't dribble down the middle of the floor where they can trap you easily. You got to create spacing and angles better. So I think once we settled down, there wasn't as much as a factor. The disappointing thing, and I had to take this, it was fourth quarter. You know, there's that fine line. We come down three straight possessions, and we have, like, fast break opportunities. Miss three, turnover, you know, and so we're going, okay, listen, there's a difference. We don't want to jack threes in transition when we have the lead in the fourth quarter, and I didn't say it probably that way because they took it as, oh, we don't want to score in the fourth quarter. So we turned down some open looks, and we stopped trying to score, and we were like trying to run the clock with seven minutes still in the fourth quarter. And so again, that goes back to one of the lessons learned, is we still have to try to score, and I think I kind of tightened them up a little bit too much in that fourth quarter.
What does a win like this do for your confidence going into conference play?
Well, these guys answer that first.
Ashley?
Obviously, it feels great to get a win. I think we're going to be ready come conference. You know, we have a good break. We've been waiting for this break. We're going to go home and enjoy it, but we're going to come back ready, knowing where we need to be ready for conference. So I think we're ready.
Ashley had 2 weeks. Sorry, Ashley had 2 weeks off since the IU game when you really shot the lights out and just did it again tonight. Just talk a little about how you've become more aggressive and assertive there.
Yeah, I just have to be more confident. Obviously, I'm a good shooter. I just have to find, with my teammates, they get me good shots. I just got to be more aggressive with it. Coach has been telling me be more aggressive. You know, you're a good player, you can do this. I told myself into that, so figured it out.
Cierra, talk a little about the matchup with Langlois. She was, obviously their go-to player, and you guys kind of different styles of player, but she ends up 6 of 17 from the field. You feel like you got a little bit the better of her?
She's a great player. I was just told to lock down on her, just play my best defense. Don't let her get wide open threes and just trail her all the time. So I think we both put up a big fight, and my teammates helped pull us through.
That was a huge play at the in overtime there, the steal, and it's one of those things that's a great thing. C is always, I think these last couple of games as a team we've been playing well, and she's been struggling in one half and then playing well in the second half. And tonight you saw the big picture of her putting two halves together, what she can do. And even though I say she hasn't played well, offensively shot the ball well, but she's always been consistent on the defensive end for us with her size and athleticism. We can put her on a guard, we can put her on a wing to be able to lock them down. And I thought she did a great job.
Now at the halfway point of the season, what do you think you guys have improved most in, and what do you think you still need to work on?
The improvements, I think, are big. There's a bunch of them, I guess. The first thing we tried to instill in them is the confidence issue. When you try to do that in the first 30 practices, and then you get to games and you hit a couple bumps. We start 2 games on the road, and so you have to keep the confidence. And I think they found it. I don't think as coaches we have to give it to them anymore. I think as teammates and as a team, they've learned to give it to each other. Which goes C struggling in the first half, teammates helping her out, not struggling in the second half. Those type of things, I think, are probably the biggest improvement. As coaches, now during games, I get an opportunity to sit down a little bit more, stay a little more relaxed, because they are helping coach themselves, with the confidence and all that stuff. And then the thing we still have to improve on, I think, is our rebounding. I think we did a great job first half of this game, then we come out second half, they had like 3 offensive rebounds, and then they end the game with 14. So the consistency on the rebounding, in both offensively and defensively, that has to be one of those things for us that we're a lot better at for a 40-minute game.
Joey, my fun SID stat of the night is that we played our last overtime game exactly 1 year ago today when we beat St. John's in double overtime. It was on December 21st of this year last year. So just talk a little bit about, you kind of end non-conference both years on a high. What do you do differently managing the practice schedule and all that going into January 1st?
I think it's a totally different team, totally different season for us than it was last year. Last year we had a bunch of seniors who I felt came back from the break with a little bit different mindset, and we tried a lot of different things to try to get out of the rut I think we had at times in conference. With this team, again, I think it all leads back to the confidence. I think we got to the point now where they all believe, not just in themselves, but their teammates and the staff going, nope, they've been telling us this is a process, we're going to get better. They've seen the improvement the last 3 games, winning at Tulsa, having the opportunity against IU, and then pulling this one out in the overtime. And so I think they've bought into going, nope, this is what we have to do to win. And I think this team here will come back from the break with that mindset of, no, we can do something in conference, let's go get this thing.